Hello, welcome back. This is Kerbal Space Program. I'm Luke, and this is Squashwarp Missions, and we are going to launch what I've called the Goblin Orbiter. Yeah, let's go ahead and let Jebediah be the pilot of the Goblin Orbiter. So we have a contract to go to the moon, orbit the moon, and return with a Kerbal. But I think we're going to be able to do something more exciting, which I think we get to do EVAs now, because I've been upgrading buildings. I've been cutting it out of the recordings, but I've been working on upgrading buildings as much as possible, so we should be able to get out now. So let's just fly to the moon and do our best. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And bank over. Alright. On our way up. Every day that I come back to Kerbal, I've forgotten how beautiful it looks. Come on. Bank. Bank. We're so stable. Keep banking. Trying to get a good gravity turn in here. And as is customary, we blow up our solid rocket boosters. That's fine. Whoop. Well, we're turning now. That's fine. Let's just do a prograde hold here. And now he's going sideways into orbit. That's fine. He can go sideways into orbit. Jebediah does what he wants. How's it looking there? Oh, I don't have a cockpit replacement for the Mark 1 cockpit, apparently. About to burn out on this stage. I think I can time accelerate. Oh, that scared me. Good, good timing. Alright. Now let's get to the edge of space. My ear is itchy. Alright, we've reached the edge of space. Stop, stop. Alright, let's point on the horizon. And let's warp until we have about 20 seconds till apoapse. I'm not going to build a maneuver, I'm just going to fly this manually. Jebediah is in control. And we're falling back down, but that's okay. Got plenty of delta V in this thing. Periapse is out of the atmosphere. Not a circular orbit, but you know what? I don't care. We're trying to get things done. Let's extend this antenna. Now we can communicate. Now let's do some science. Magnetometer report. Gonna extend the magnetometer boom. There it goes in a nice spirally pattern. Kerbin has a strong magnetic field for a planet of its size, shielding us from the sun's blast of radiation even in this low orbit. Fantastic! And now we can do something new. We can do an EVA report. Jebediah has gotten out of his spaceship. Keep. Store. Can he reach the magnetometer? EVA report. Grasslands. Keep. Store experiments. Download data. And been retracted. EVA report. Over Kerbin's water. Keep. Alright, and we're going to do one orbit of Kerbin, just to get all of the equatorial biomes, because we can get unique EVA data from all of the biomes around the equator. We're going to miss the tundra and the ice caps, because we're not going on a polar orbit. But this should pull us out of time warp when we get somewhere new. Like Highlands, there we go, EVA, Highlands, keep. I love this mod, Science Here and Now, X-Science, whatever it's called. I would never do Science mode without it anymore. One of these days I'll have to try Kerbalism. It's another life support mod, but it changes how science works. I've never tried that. But short of that, this mod is a must. There's Badlands around here somewhere, EVA. Mountains. The craggy mountains will look even closer now that there is no spaceship between you and them. Keep forward. And will we get the Badlands, or are they further south? They might be too far south. We'll do one complete orbit, and then we'll assume that we've gotten everything that we can. There we go, deserts. I forgot about deserts. Just looking down is making you thirsty. Oops, wrong button. Alright. I think that is it. We've done a complete orbit. There's the Kerbal Space Center. You can see it from orbit. Alright, now let's go to the moon. Where is it? There it is. Focus on the moon. And we'll do a... pass low. Now, unfortunately, well, it's not a good time to do a moon landing, but we're not trying to do a moon landing. Let's save some fuel. Burn at a different time. Alright, use a little bit of fuel. That's close enough. And we'll adjust it as needed. Let's see, if I quick save, which I didn't, if I quick save, can I focus on vessel? I want to try something. I want to try warping to maneuver. Warp to maneuver node. Okay, so this brings up the stock alarm clock. And it gives us too long a margin. Oh no, I deleted the maneuver node. Well, shoot. Well, we'll add it, and it was about 870. Well, now we're going to hit the moon. Cancel. Focus on moon. Let's do less. There. Less. Okay, let's just do this maneuver now. Go away, clock. Don't show again. Okay. This is why I use Kerbal Alarm Clock and not the stock clock, because I have never made friends with it yet. Alright, here we go. Oops, we're off center because we have a transmitter, so doing the rotation moved us all over the place. That's fine. Did I remember to take the monopropellant out of this? I did! And Jebediah has no food, unfortunately. But he can live without food for 14 days. And he's happy to sit in this capsule for a week, if need be, because he's a trooper. Alright, we're almost there. Let's start slowing down. Close the maneuver. 10 kilometers. Perfect. Let's see if we can go to warp to SOI. See, no, now it gives me a 3-minute margin. What if I... Well, no. Hang on, first I need to warp until we get high. There we go. Magnetometer, atmospheric pressure, temperature, crew report. Keep the crew report. Keep all of these things. An EVA. Keep. Oh, look at that beautiful blue globe behind us. Wow. Alright, crawl back, download data. Take data. Take data. Take data. I took the seismic accelerometer, but that is going to be useless because we're not landing anywhere. So board. We got emails. We've performed a spacewalk. Yes, we have. Alright, let's just warp, and then Science Here and Now should pull us out when we get to the moon, because we haven't done a magnetometer report at the moon yet. Now, I should have done a free return trajectory so that if we run out of fuel, we'll still come back to Kerbin. But I'm just not concerned about running out of fuel, which maybe I should be. But I think we're going to be okay. Keep. Take. Keep. Didn't read it. Download data. Take. Okay, so now we need to orbit the moon, but we don't need to orbit the moon at a low orbit. We just need to orbit the moon at all. So that's good enough. In fact, we don't need that maneuver node. Let's just turn retrograde and warp to periaps. Can't see anything. There we go. And now we're in space low. In space low, we can do all kinds of experiments. You glance out of... Oh, I didn't get to see it. Keep that. The instrument reads 0 as if it were in a vacuum. You glance out of your window at the surface. Whoa, who put mountains this high on a rock this small? Keep that experiment. And... take... It's hard to tell from outside the cockpit, but you think that you might be really low. You're not in the crater, are you? No, we're not that low. Keep experiment. Download data. Take data. Take data. Take data board. And turn retrograde. And we'll go to... Oh, we got a new EVA report. Let's orbit the moon later, actually. do the math for a second. If I do that's going to be 270. And then I do that. That's going to be that's overkill. Hang on. I'm just making sure we can come home. That's going to be 280, so that's 3. Okay, yeah, we can make it work. So we can actually circularize and get a nice low orbit. It doesn't have to be circular. We can get a nice low orbit and not be worried about getting stranded. Okay. Good. Now we can have, what am I doing? Roll and turn this way so we get sunlight. Good. Now we can have our science back. Let's do an EVA report over the moon's midlands. Keep forward. And we're just going to do a quick orbit of the moon and get all of the biomes. EVA, EVA. Keep forward. Fast forward. EVA, EVA. Keep forward. Fast forward. And we lost signal. But now we've got it back. Alright, EVA. Islands. Keep forward. And East Far Side Crater, keep forward. This is going to get us so much science. EVA, keep forward. Forward. Look at that beautiful moonrise or Earthrise. There's the Earthrise picture. Looks great. All right. Just got to stop and appreciate the beauty of it sometimes. Alright, once we do a complete orbit, I can start thinking about getting this contract satisfied. Oh, there's our lander. Just past our landing site. And I think we've now done a full rotation. Again, if we get in a polar orbit of the moon, we'll get even more science. But I think for now, that is it. So, we've performed a spacewalk in orbit of the moon. Yes, we have. So now we gotta look. Let me move that down here. Gotta look at our contracts. So we've got a contract to orbit the moon, do a crewed landing, return to Minmist. Okay, do a crewed landing and return on the moon. Performed a manned return, not that one. Perform a manned return from orbit of the moon. Vessel, Goblin Orbiter. Vessel, Goblin Orbiter. Vessel, Goblin Orbiter. Return home. Are we sure? Okay, I think this is all correct. So I'm going to save, and we're going to go home now. It should be saying orbiting the moon, but it just says Vessel Goblin Orbiter. So I don't know why it's saying that, but that's fine. So I don't think we're going to get any more science from the moon. Not without landing, which we can't quite do. So let's go home. To go home, we burn on that side. And to reduce our orbital velocity relative to the moon until our periaps. Kerbin periaps. Let's have our Kerbin periaps be about 30 kilometers. Oh, whoops, I'm reading the dial wrong. That's not right. Oh, I'm reading it wrong. Okay, hang on. It's in kilometers. I thought it was in meters. You said it, Jeb. Okay, now it's in meters. Well, I'm gonna have to adjust it. I always forget that, you know, like I set up these maneuver nodes, and then I get them wrong when I do the burn anyway. So I have to readjust it when we get there. So I might as well just get them vaguely correct and then just do it. All right, here we go, Jeb. Could almost reach out and touch the moon. If you had slightly more delta V, you could go land there. But Valentina might get that honor. We'll see. And going home. Kerbin is so pretty out there in the distance. Yeah, see, just as before. I have to adjust it anyway, so... Okay, 32. 32 kilometers. Let's see how that goes. Let's, warp here. Just go fast. We're gonna leave the moon, and you can see how I'm moving in the same direction. Like, I leave the moon that way, and then when I pass the sphere of influence, I'm still going that way, and then I fall down. And now we're falling down towards Kerbin. We're gonna land in the night, unfortunately. Alright. Do we need to do anything else? Run magnetometer report one more time, just in case. It's because I like seeing the thing. Oh, see, we did get more. Oh, let's send this. Well, no, it's because we haven't... We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back, so we don't need to transmit it, but we can. So let's do that. There, we've transmitted our magnetometer report. Now I'd like to extend the boom just for aesthetic purposes, because I think it looks cool. But that's it for science, so here we go. We got an EVA report from Kerbin's upper atmosphere. Jeb may or may not have had permission to do that, but it's fine. Yeah, that was very dangerous. We descended very quickly. Look how pretty. Oh, wow. I love seeing the other one going down. Haven't gotten to see another stage burn up yet. Let's speed up, though. Oh, wow. Look at the trail it's leaving. That's so cool. It's gonna disappear at 5 kilometers, but that's really cool. Oh my god, it's still going. You can still see it. Oh my gosh, you can see it 16 kilometers away? I can't believe this mod. That's amazing. That's really cool. Flying over Kerbin's grasslands, apparently we never got. Says we can get an EVA report. I don't know about that. Are we gonna land in a tree? We'll find out. Got some pine trees underneath us. Oh, I think we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna land in the shrubbery next to the tree. This is a very tall tree. Look how tall that tree is. It's a little capsule next to that giant tree. Seismic scan. Surface sample. Yep, looks like dirt. What we can do is we can get a flying over the grasslands. Keep experiment. Grab. Take data. Take data. Take data. Board. Board. Seismic scan and crew reports. Okay. Fantastic. Well, from this beautiful hillside here, let's recover and see how much science we got from that. We started with 95. Let's see what happens when we recover this vessel. Normal recovery. I think we got a lot of science from that. It's raining back at the Space Center. Yep, 437.8 science earned. So that's a big haul. So excuse me while I go into the R&D building and take a look at what we can buy with all that science. Okay, I spent all the science unlocking heavy rocketry, fuel systems, command modules, and advanced electrics. So, we'll see those coming online soon. Let me see what else we need to do. Okay, so there wasn't too much else to do. I just warped until everything was complete, and now we're going to launch the next vehicle, which I designed while you weren't looking. It is a Duna landing probe that is going to catch the tail end of this transfer window. And it actually has less delta V than our orbiter because it doesn't need to get into orbit. It just needs to get into Duna's atmosphere and use the atmosphere to slow down, hopefully. Hopefully. We'll see if it works. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Up we go. So it's actually smaller than the orbiter. But I think it might be launching on a... yeah, it's launching on a much bigger rocket. So we didn't have the... we weren't allowed to have this many parts when we launched the Duna orbiter. So we're launching a little late in the transfer window, but it's still... this is still the opportunity we have before we run out of opportunity, and Duna's in absolutely the wrong place. Come on, they don't want a gravity turn. They just have too much thrust off the pad. We'll fix that soon. That's fine. And jumping into the sunrise again, or sunset, or whatever direction that is. And I think we're high enough we can rearrange our order here and deploy the fairing. There we go. Now you can see our little lander up there. And maneuver at Apo. It's going to be time to burn. Let's just go. I forgot that the upper stage is going to have much less thrust, so it's fine. We'll just burn until we're in an orbit. At 3 times time acceleration. Because I want to get to other things. Okay, we're falling back down. That is okay. As long as we stay out of the atmosphere. It's going to be a wonky orbit. But good enough. Alright. Duna. Actually, we could probably just keep burning exactly where we are and get where we want to be, but let's do a maneuver instead. And let's not escape. Well, no, we do want to escape Kerbin. I misread the map. Okay. So we want to escape Kerbin. Get out to Duna. Now, where are we having a close approach? Okay, cool. Close approach is that way. And we're about to get an intercept. There it is. All right. Admin, add an alarm and warp. Oh, that's Sarnas. I was going to say, is that Duna? But no, that's Sarnas. Also red. Love being able to look out and see these things. They really blend into the stars, though, don't they? Okay. Alright, let's just perform this burn as best we can. Just going to point prograde to it mostly correctly. It's getting imprecise, but that's okay. And good. Alright, we've gone too far. We don't have a reaction wheel on this craft, so it's going to be a little sluggish. Just using the probe's reaction wheel. Let's get fine control on this thrust limiter here, so I can be a little bit less careful. Good. Focus view on Duna. Good. And then we'll do a correction burn here. That will look something like that. Sure. Add for the burn and add for the sphere of influence change. So we have a correction burn in 180 days. Okay. Now we want to make sure we're pointed in such a way as to get sunlight. I'm going to sneeze again. Okay, managed to mute myself again. All right. And I turned the mic back on? Yes, I did. That's always important. Let's just warp until we get sunlight. Just to prove to ourselves that we are getting some sunlight. We're just going to be in the dark, I guess. World's first milestones. Returned home from flyby of the moon. Returned home from an orbit of the moon. Good. We're just not getting any sunlight, are we? There we go. There's the sun. Wow, we were in quite an eclipse. Let's make sure we're just getting something. There we go. And let's make sure to extend one of these antennae. I think you still can do that in the stock game, but I was raised on remote tech where you had to point your antenna correctly or you were explosion onwards lamenting, or SOL. Can we do any science? No, just mystery goos. Let's not do that. Okay, we need to go build something now. So I'm going to go back to the Space Center and I'm going to whip something up and I'll see you afterwards. Okay, so I went a little overboard. This is way too big. Like, I made a moon direct ascent vehicle with the Mark 1-3 command pod, which is pretty heavy and not really an ideal vehicle for that purpose. And I just ended up making a giant monstrosity of a craft. It's probably going to take forever to build. But instead of redesigning it, I'm just going to spend less of my real life working on this. And I'm going to simulate this, though, because I do feel that we're going to have an issue. We need to test certain things. Oh, before I do that, I need to go into the abort menu and tell it to decouple, because we need to test the abort system as well. Okay, save and simulate. Let's start simulation. This is totally overkill. It's so much bigger than it needs to be. I could have landed with one Kerbal. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just didn't want them to be lonely. Oops, we did it in the dark. Oh well. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's get it. Let's get a good ascent profile on this thing for once. So we're going to have a pretty low thrust to weight ratio once those booster tanks burn out. But this is the perfect time to establish whether or not the this is the hardest moment for the launch escape system to work. So let's fire up the launch escape system now. There we go. It worked. I can't believe it. The part actually does what it's supposed to do. And now let's verify that the parachutes in fact work. Okay, we've got a drogue chute in case we need it, but I don't think we're gonna need it. And then our 2 main parachutes, which are going to clip through it. We didn't use the one on the top because we needed room for the launch escape system. And I don't want us to land upside down, but I feel like we're going to land upside down. Yeah. So we're going to land with our heads pointed toward the ocean. But I can't really do anything about that, because that's where the parachutes can go. Otherwise, they're going to block the windows. But we've got a perfectly good parachute descent. In fact, let me just test. I need to test. Let's cut the drogue chute and verify that this is still a safe landing speed. Yep. Hey, we even got a splash. That's never happened before. Let's restart the simulation. Revert. And then, now we can test the, deployment of the boosters. Verify that our low thrust-to-weight ratio on the main engine will still be adequate to get us into orbit. Because that'd be quite embarrassing if we don't make it into orbit. Yep, that worked. Alright. Deployed correctly. Now, I do think that our ascent profile in this simulation was too shallow. So we are, our apoapse is not going up. Our time to apoapse is going down, and we are going to fall back down. So we're going to have to do one more simulation. Restart. We're gonna have to start one. Whoa, what am I looking at right now? That is a fascinating angle. We're gonna have to verify this does in fact get into orbit. Because when we drop those boosters, we get a major drop in our thrust. So we should actually fly this one a little steeper. Okay, good. Our apoapse is going up again. Good. Yeah, we gotta do... We have a drop-off in thrust at a critical moment. Okay, we're gonna make it into orbit just fine. Okay. Will we make it to the moon? The simulation is costing a lot of money, but maybe we should verify that we're going to make it to the moon. Let's deploy the launch escape system. Now that's this. We need to do this. That's important. This comes next. There we go. Okay. Now we go up to our apoaps and we burn into an orbit. Oh, we have so much delta V. Right. Oh, I see. I see how I'm reading this. Okay, so we've made it safely into an orbit on this stage. 2,900. Does that really say 2,900? Okay, so that's 3,000 3 kilometers per second. 1 kilometer to get out there. 1 kilometer to land and take off. And 1 kilometer to get... Wait, this will be fine. This will be absolutely fine. Let's end the simulation. Terminate simulation. Since we have some money ahead, I'm going to upgrade the spaceplane hangar so that we can build larger aircraft with more parts when we get around to it. I already upgraded the runway, so we'll get that going. And now I'm going to fast forward to when things are done. See you then. Actually, we got an alarm for the Duna probe maneuver. So this is a correction burn that the Duna probe has to perform. So we're going to do this real fast. Apparently did we miss it or what happened? I don't know. Let's check in on what's happening here. Let's throttle limiter down. Let's look at Duna. Did I say Moho? I meant to say Duna. Did I say Moho? Oh, look, there's an eclipse going on. Duna is having a shadow cast on it by Ike. Okay, so the important thing about encountering Duna is that we want... I was going to say we want signal when we get there, but actually that's not as critical as going the correct direction. So this probe is going to orbit... this probe is going to orbit in a normal orbit, because there's nothing on this probe that makes it like need to be in a polar orbit or anything. I don't have any ScanSat parts on it, so we're just going to burn normal, which is sort of like saying up, but up doesn't really mean much in space. And we'll burn little back and a little up, and that will get us swinging around the dark side of Duna, mostly equatorial, and then I don't know, I think I want to say the atmosphere is 40 kilometers, so I think 49 is safe, but it could be 50, I can't remember, so let's do that and we'll adjust from there. And then let's just do this burn here and trust that we're going to get something close. Okay. It's a pretty equatorial orbit. 32, though. That's too close. I don't actually want to aerobrake around Duna in this thing. I don't think we have the safety. 72 might be too far. We've got 1,200 meters per second left on this thing, and to get into orbit of Duna is only going to take 600 something, 700. So we're good. We don't have to be super efficient. All right, we'll save that, and now we'll go fly the moon thing. I'm running out of time, so I gotta hurry. Let's make sure we're looking at sunlight, though. That's important. Sunlight. All right, so the next alarm for this probe is crossing into Duna's sphere of influence in 132 days. Cool. All right. I'll see you back at the... Well, we'll just warp until the spaceplane hangar is done. Might as well just stay out here. Focus on vessel and delete maneuver. Let's see ourselves moving through space. Relative to Kerbin. Relative to the Duna lander, which is also on its way to Duna. It's going to arrive after us, I think. And the spaceplane hangar is complete. Moon Direct. Warp until the Moon Direct is complete in 7 days. Now, I don't know what we're building while we're flying the Moon Direct, but I think that's okay. We can fly a moon mission without building something. We can give people in the vehicle assembly building a few days off, or a few hours off. Alright, let's go fly it. What mod is this? Where's my list? I want my list of funny names. Alright, well, we'll see what we're gonna get. I want another scientist. Hire another scientist. Burful. We got Burful Kerman. Well, I don't know, Burful Kerman. You'll have to prove yourself here at the space program. We weren't sure that we picked you. Alright, well, you'll do your best anyway. Alright, Burful Kerman's gonna go on this mission even though we don't know who he is or how he got here. I'm going to figure out what mod is messing with my astronaut complex. Let's warp to the morning. I feel like this will be more pleasant in the daytime. I want to bring 2 scientists, because we need leveled up scientists more badly than engineers at this stage. I have 10 minutes to get to the moon. Here we go. C, T. I'm gonna quick save in case this doesn't work. Let's go, everybody. And up we go. Nice bright engine plumes. Through the clouds. Still going up way too steeply. But we'll get turned over momentarily, I think. I would fix this launch, but I don't have time. At least our apoaps, time to apoaps is still going up. When that's going down, you know, it's not so good. This is complete overkill spacecraft. We just called it Moon Direct 1, but we need a name for this capsule. I think I'm going to call these capsules the Griffin capsules, but this one is just Moon Direct 1. There probably won't be a Moon Direct 2, because this is silly. Alright. Oops. There. 82 by 81. Perfect. We can jettison the launch escape tower now. And let's warp until our circularization burn. Trying to see the numbers. There they are. They're a little washed out when you look at the clouds. Oh my gosh, this whole thing is going to make it into orbit. That's so silly. Alright. Deploy the solar panels. Open the cargo bay. Extend the magnetometer boom. Now we look like a spacecraft. Look at us. That looks cool. Alright, let's go to the moon in the 5 minutes that I have left before I have to go to an appointment. Set the moon as target. Add a maneuver. 850-ish. Focus on the moon. Let's do that burn. Add an alarm for that maneuver. And let's warp to it. And close. Whoops, what did I do? Did I delete my maneuver? I don't know, maybe I unset target. I don't know what I did. But it doesn't matter. We're going to perform that maneuver in 40 seconds. Let's just get pointed right at the node instead of at our prograde marker. Okay. Two, one, throttle up. I only hear that out of one ear. So we're leaving some space trash, unfortunately, but that's okay. And now we're on the quad thruster poodle engine, which makes a great noise. And lights up the whole ship too. Look at that. That's so cool. Alright, we're looking for like a 15-kilometer periaps. $11 is great. Okay, I just quick saved, so let's warp here. We're just hurrying right along. Because we've done all these science experiments, we've done everything that we can do. Yeah. In fact, we should retract the magnetometer boom, I'm realizing. Retract boom, point retrograde, and throttle up. Capture into a moon orbit. And this is actually perfect timing to try to land. We're in a bit of an inclined orbit, aren't we? I didn't even pay attention to that. Well, I thought maybe we could land in this crater, but we're actually too inclined to do that. Let's just drop our periaps to about 6 kilometers and... oops, we've already dropped it to the surface. That's not good. Prograde. Warp to app. So we've got Jebediah on this mission. Valentina was supposed to be the one to land on the moon, but I got two behind, so she'll get some other honor. Now the problem is, we really need to land where we can see, because we didn't bring any lights. But at the same time, I do have the ambient brightness turned up. Let's do one full rotation. Let's actually let's do this. Let's lift our periaps to 8. Warp to periaps. Drop our apoaps. To that. And I'm going to have to save here because I've run out of time. So I'll come back and I'll still record this as part of the same episode. See you shortly. Hello, okay, I'm back. We're still in the same episode, but I have had to go away and come back. So we're going to actually fly this moon landing, and I was just taking a look at the moon map, thinking maybe we could try to land in this crater here. So let's see if we can end up there. A few things we can do. One is we're going to quick save. 2 is we're going to make sure our periaps is lower than this. Substantially so. In fact, I think it's safe to I mean, I got a lot of delta V. I think it's okay to do it slightly less efficiently than I could have. The other thing we can do is warp here. And then when we get there, we'll turn south. So, which way is that? I think that's to my left on the nav ball right now. Nope, nope, apparently that was north. Okay, so flip over. There we go. Oh, right, I see why. I see why. Okay, and now... Oh, if we point orbit, then that will make it a lot more sense. Okay, now we're going to try to deflect our orbit just a little bit. So that it goes over that there canyon. Yep. Easy enough. And then I can turn retrograde, and I can actually turn on show engineer, and I can show landing, and I think it'll give me a landing prediction. So if I kill our velocity a little too much, instead of coming in for the most efficient landing, I could come in for a more reliable landing. Oh, now we're going to hit there. So let's lift up. Okay. Shamelessly using all my tools here. We don't need rendezvous or orbit. We just want landing. Okay. Now we want to point retrograde. I'm going to shift this into free camera. Deploy the landing gear. Turn upside down. And we haven't taken a look inside this capsule yet. Look at this beautiful IVA from Asset. Wonderful. We can turn on our orbital displays. I think. There we go. We can see what we're doing here. We can say, I want to face prograde and then turn around, except I want to face retrograde, so let's change it back. So you can like fly the ship from in here. It's really cool. But I'm not going to do that, which is a little bit of a waste of the mod, but that's okay. Alright. Hopefully we won't crash into a mountain. If we do, I don't know, I'll probably reload. Oh look, there's our lander that we landed. And there's the moon arch. Passing right by it. Hello. And sunshine. Incidentally, do we have any science experiments we need to do? No. Okay. Oh, I love how the sky becomes black when you look at the sun. It's really great. You look down at the surface, you can't see stars because you wouldn't be able to see stars on the moon. It's too bright. Let's wait a little longer. Let's get over this cliff, which is really close to us. We're under 1 kilometer away. That's making me very nervous. I think it's time to start our burn. And I'm going to start with a little bit of a burn down just to make sure that we don't hit that. We're making a little bubble underneath us where the texture is loaded. Let's ignore that for now. And now we're going to land right where we want to. So that's actually quite good. So let's point retrograde again. Still got a lot of velocity to burn off. Impact biome is twin craters. As soon as we're in the twin craters, we're going to come to a stop here. I think this is it. Now we're in the lowlands. Let's make sure we actually make it into the twin craters before we completely stop. Twin craters. Okay. And now you can see our landing prediction. Let's stop right there. Cool. And now I can close this, I think. Oh. Go away. Multitasking here. Just using a little bit of thrust. A little bit more thrust. I'm gonna land on some rocks. I think that's okay. I think we can handle it. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Don't, no. No, no. Rocks. I forgot that the rocks are a bigger obstacle. Oh, we were on more of a hill than I realized. No wonder we were falling over. I guess I didn't really have a good perspective on how slanty this was. Okay, we did it! Alright, let's retract our solar panels so we don't break them when we get out. But look, we've landed on the moon. F5. With a little bit of, complete overkill, we successfully landed on the moon. Jeb, Burfel, and Bob. Congratulations, everybody. Let's do the science we came here to do. Landed at the moon's twin craters. We'll do our materials study and all the other things. And we'll just keep everything. Bob, you get to be the first Kerbal on the moon. Store experiments. Alright, be careful. Don't knock over the spacecraft, Bob. There we go. It's heavy. We don't want it to fall on you. I don't think you can get another surface sample, but go ahead and take a surface sample. This area has a particularly high concentration of rare elements. Nice! Okay, stop. Alright. We've done it. I think, having landed on the moon, and gotten here safely, I think I need to end the episode timing-wise. So, we'll pick up back on the moon. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.